Hello, and welcome to Panic in the... I almost said disco again.
The disco in the warp core?
Disco in the warp core. Hello, and welcome to Panic in the Warp Core. My name is Chris.
And my name is Chip.
And today we are covering Season 1, Episode 5 of Star Trek Enterprise, entitled Unexpected.
So in this episode, they find an alien craft hiding in their...
Wake?
Yeah, plasma wake or whatever. And Trip goes over and meets with the aliens. He comes back, he got knocked up, and hijinks kind of ensue.
We'll break it down right after this.
Sounds good.
Okay, as we said, we are covering Unexpected, the episode that tries to put... how do I want to say this? Kind of puts pregnancy into perspective by having it happen to a guy.
Yeah.
I think that was the intent.
Yeah, and I just feel like they didn't really balance the drama and the humor of it very well. They kind of played some of it off as a joke, and then some of it not. They tried to go serious, so they just never quite found their groove.
And I think they leaned into tropes a little bit heavy.
Oh, yeah.
But, hey, why don't we...
Should we see what happens?
Yes, let's.
Oh, yeah, we got the Archer in the shower scene.
So, one thing I will say about Enterprise, they also objectify the men.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading a book on, I think it was called Star Trek Costumes or something to that effect. And basically, they took, Bakula and... Who's the guy that plays Tucker?
I don't remember the
And
name.
the guy that plays Mayweather.
Yeah.
But they took those three guys and they're basically like, okay, these are the uniforms we designed. They're denim jumpsuits. You guys have to stay, trim and cut. And they did it for 4 seasons, which good on them. And then, they just, have shower scenes with them just to show off how muscular they are.
Shower and decontamination scenes and all that. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Marvel kind of did that with some of their stuff too.
It's true. Yeah.
Thinking of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine,
Right. And it's stuff like this why guys today have some body dysmorphia issues, because those physiques are not maintainable.
They're not maintainable, and they're hard to achieve to begin with.
And they're hard on your body.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think about some of those things Christian Bale lost 100 pounds for some role, and it's and then he gained it back and put on
an extra
50 pounds to play
role.
Who was the vice president? Cheney.
Cheney. Yeah.
When he played that. And yeah, I know it's not healthy, but I suppose if you're getting paid millions of dollars to do it, maybe it's easier to motivate yourself to do that.
Well, I mean, it's your job, right? So
that's true.
Well, most of us are logged
I don't have to look like that for my job.
We look like
I look like a desk job person. So.
I mean, yeah, and we make it look good.
Yeah, and luckily they don't see below here, because this way I look okay.
I'm actually wearing camo shorts right now.
I'm not even wearing shorts. Or did you not notice?
I didn't notice.
Actually, I am, but...
Okay.
All right, so here we are. Oh, more food. There's a lot of food in this show.
There is. Kind of has that in common with Strange New Worlds and how Captain Pike likes to cook.
He likes to do his dinner parties.
Yeah.
Archer doesn't really cook here, though. They just enjoy their meals.
Yeah,
and they have him in that captain's...
Right, he's got his own chef.
Yeah.
I love how Phlox is all I just want to immerse myself in the culture.
I just love his enthusiasm.
And T'Pol is the polar opposite, where she's like, no, I will take my plomeek soup broth and y'all can fuck off.
Yeah, pretty much. I love how Phlox walks around and looks like he's wearing pajamas or just There's no uniform for him, but
Maybe that's chocolate pudding.
could be. I don't know.
It could be. And I'm also curious if that's like actually a replicator or if they have like this ingredient machine behind the scenes that puts things together.
It's like the old vending machines I had in college.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got a hot chocolate or a coffee and it looked like that.
True.
So there's a sense of realism there.
Yeah, there really is.
That even in this, 22nd or 21st century. I
22nd century? Because we're in the 21st century right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that even then things don't always work as they're intended. So.
Right. Have I mentioned lately that I love the engineering design in this?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
I think you said it once or twice.
All right. Probably.
And how it just has that callback to like old submarines.
Yeah.
And old nautical vessels.
And they still use the same fire extinguishers we use today.
Yeah.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So. Trip, you broke the ship. Yeah, I don't know.
All
I
right.
just... I think if we ranked, like, ship interiors, this one would probably be second?
Second to what? I like this one a lot because it feels just so...
It does.
Utilitarian.
Yes.
It's not... There's no posh accommodations like on... Was it the D? Is that what's on Next Gen?
The Space Marriott.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really am partial to the Strange New Worlds Enterprise. Just like that mid-century modern / futuristic amalgamation that they managed to come up with. My only here's the ship.
I'm sorry, I got
You're fine.
a scratchy throat for some reason all of a sudden.
I think my only complaint is that like they make the floors so damn shiny, everything reflects. But other than that, on the Enterprise,
on Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think,
Yeah, it does. They do. It does. I forgot about how shiny the floors were in that.
And I think something that you mentioned was like this is kind of like maybe the precursor to the Klingons getting cloaked technology.
Yeah, and I think that kind of comes into play at the end when they visit the holodeck on the... Was it the Ceruleans? Is that who we meet to this one?
Maybe.
I can't
Sounds
remember.
right.
I don't remember the name of it. Yeah, Cerulean.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's who knocks up Trip when he goes over there to help them.
So do you think that T'Pol is just like consistently saying "you fucking idiots" like
I think
to
so.
herself?
She's got to be like a Democrat in Congress these days. It's just like, I can't believe you guys. You guys are so dumb right now. But again, it goes back to the whole emotion versus logic and
Right.
where they want to go, oh, hey, we've never met these people before. Let's go see what they're all about. So we're going to send Trip over by himself.
Right, which seems like a great idea.
Yeah.
Just met these people, don't have any idea about them, but we're going to send our chief engineer.
Yeah. We don't know if they're dangerous or anything, but...
But, I think we've said that, like, this ship does that. This show does that a lot.
Yeah. Well, you got to put the people in situations, so...
I understand that. And I also feel like back in, like, the 90s and, like, the early 2000s, like, they didn't really engineer the scenarios so that it was what a logical person would do, right?
Right.
They were like, okay, we need this to happen, so this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Suspend your disbelief and just roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a plot device. And then with just the economy of, you only got a few main actors or recognizable actors, so, you're not going to send a red shirt that nobody knows to here, so.
Right.
But I like how Mayweather just, like, drops him off. See you later.
Peace out, dude. Like, you'd think, like, at least a couple security guards, maybe?
You'd think that they'd have more than one person go visit.
Right. And I'm guessing he's not armed.
No. I can't remember. Did they actually contact the ship before this? And I thought
think
they
so.
did.
Yeah.
And realized that they're having some.
It was like
problem,
like,
and
it wasn't like. It wasn't a Teams chat. It was just
no.
audio.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did you see Skype is dead now?
Oh yeah, Microsoft no longer
Microsoft
supporting
killed
it.
Skype.
It's because they got Teams now. And
Yeah.
of course, I haven't used Skype in years.
Well,
but...
like back when COVID was a thing and we were
Yeah.
doing the Doctors Who podcast, like we used Skype to
kind of all be in.
To still film episodes,
Yeah.
even though we were in 3 different places, and
That's when Zoom kind of came into prominence too. So it was kind of Skype and Zoom, and then Microsoft kind of retooled and built Teams after that.
That ship almost looks organic.
Yeah. It looks like the ships in Farscape. I don't know if you ever saw that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not in
like
30
a living
years,
ship.
but yeah.
But the whole premise there was it was a living ship, and it had similar kind of features. So now Trip's getting smoked out. He's getting fumigated, basically. There.
Or maybe it's like cannabis smoke.
Oh, it could be. Is he going to get a contact high?
Maybe that's why he acts so weird here in a little bit.
Could be.
I mean...
He's got to acclimate to the new environment.
Yeah.
All right.
There she is. She's so pretty.
Ah, Porthos. Got to feed the dog.
And I love when, like, Trip calls over and he's like, I'm not doing so well. Archer's just like, oh, you're fine.
Whatever, you're okay.
They said it was going to be smoky and...
Rub some dirt on it and get back in the game. You'll be fine.
Like it's almost callous.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like good captainship or captaining.
No. Like, I was briefly a people leader in corporate America, and this seems like not the way to do it.
Well, I mean, obviously he cares more about Porthos than
That's true.
Trip, so
yeah,
gotta feed the dog, and I'll worry about Trip later.
And now is this like? Do you remember that game Simon?
Yes, where you're trying to like mimic what lights it lit up or whatever. Oh, he's okay now. He's like kind of.
Well, he thinks he's okay for the moment.
So now we get to see some aliens. So it's another first contact situation, which obviously there's no prime directive yet.
Right. I'm thoroughly convinced they enacted it just because of this ship.
Oh, I think so, because of their antics. And...
Right. It's like Starfleet's at home reading these reports, being like,
"Yeah,
Jesus, we got to do something."
Surprised they didn't call it the Archer Directive instead of the Prime Directive.
Probably what it's called on the down low.
It's probably this is the Archer rule.
One thing I do love is that this feels like a truly alien ship,
and it's very organic, and just very alien. So.
Like from the textures to the shape of things.
Yeah, to the like shag carpeting look on the floor or grass or whatever it is.
Yeah, I like that. You know, pretty sure that was in Aunt Betty's living room back
do you think
in 1974.
Do you think the Ceruleans have the old carpet rakes that they used on?
They'd almost have to, right?
Yeah.
And they've got an aquarium.
Yeah.
Super handy, especially if you're using it for
size of the
food.
ship compared to the Enterprise, it's not a big ship, but they've got room for a giant aquarium on it.
Maybe they need it for some reason.
Maybe it's a food source.
Or maybe something with those serve a mechanical function.
Maybe they're electric eels and that powers their systems.
This just seems unpleasant, honestly.
Yeah.
But even though things look organic, this all looks very not organic.
Yeah, but it's like, how does Trip, as a human without a lot of experience with alien technology, know how to come on board and fix it?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially when he is so clearly just gassed out of his gourd.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's like stoned to the bejesus here.
Yeah.
So. I thought the aliens looked pretty good, though, the way they make them look. I know that just because, all of our actors are human, most of the aliens are kind of humanoid.
They do. And it's just variations on makeup and things like that, prosthetics.
Yeah, but I like the context. I mean, the eyes always make a big difference to me on how alien something can look. So
Archer's couch looks super uncomfortable.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like he fits on it very well.
But he tries.
Yeah.
He
Mm-hmm.
He baculated the shit out of that.
Yeah. But he doesn't have like the big easy chair and stuff that, some of the later captains have for, their rooms. Like what Picard always seemed like he had like the silk sheets and...
Yep. Yeah. And is this where Trip's like, I think I need to come home, and he's like, tough it out.
You're all right.
Tough it out, you pansy.
You wuss.
And then the captain's like, we told him to rest, but he wouldn't listen.
Yep.
I think I already mentioned this, but I like our new duds here.
Yeah, I don't know. See if people notice that.
I'm sure they did. I mean, we look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like in the theme with...
That's right.
With the series,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean...
And they're comfortable.
Yeah. So last week I was at Half Price Books, which I think is a national thing. So like people watching this should be like, oh yeah, Half Price Books. I think so. I found seasons 1, 3, and 4 of Enterprise on DVD, and it was like their 20% off weekend. So nice. I just went ahead and snagged them. So now I just got to find season 2 at some point.
Yeah.
But
it shouldn't be hard to find at some point. But
I'm slowly on a quest to like collect all the physical media.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Which in the age of streaming isn't a bad idea, since it seems like properties bounce around and they move things around, and it's free for this period of time, and then they're going to start charging for it. Then
okay, so is this their bedrooms? Is this what their quarters look like? Like,
I don't know, because they've still got like that tubing and stuff behind them that.
And she's like, "Oh yes, this is our finest room. There is even food on the walls."
Yeah. Exactly.
Would you like some food off of our walls? When I was in college, our walls had carpeting on them.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do that. We had a lot of blacklight posters, I remember. And
so,
these were like the little ice bubble
it's like
things.
We've tried to synthesize an equivalent to your water.
Yeah.
Here, let me feed it to you.
But they had an aquarium, so they had some sort of liquid that those things were swimming around in.
Maybe it wasn't suitable for human consumption.
Could be. Well, most of our water here isn't anyway.
That's very true.
Look, maybe it's some sort of gelatinous goo that... Maybe it's what they use in the decontamination chamber.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Maybe that's what the Ceruleans have to do, is swim in the tank for a bit before they...
for not having any interest, she's sure feeding him seductively.
Yeah. And again, it's more form-fitting alien costumes.
Let me put the ice cube in your mouth.
Yeah, and feel that little electroshock that I'm going to give you.
Did you feel the sparks?
And Trip's like all on board now. He's like, ooh, this is all right. Ooh. Whoa.
It's like, okay, let's go.
Feeling the spark.
Let's Jim Kirk before Jim Kirk was a thing.
There's something here. It's kind of interesting, too, how her, she's kind of got the scaly look, and then the outfit she's in's kind of got a scaly look to it, too, the shiny scale look, so...
But I would say Berman's hand is definitely all over that design there.
Oh, yeah. Was he involved in Voyager, too?
Yeah.
With 7 and 9.
All of 90s Trek and Enterprise, basically.
Okay.
So he was, I think, responsible for not putting Troy in a uniform and things like that as well. Y'all can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I just tend to blame everything sexist on Rick Berman.
Yeah.
So.
Was Braga the other one that Brannon, I think?
Yeah, Brannon Braga, yep.
You know what just occurred to me? They were the two key people in it. But...
I forgot to turn on our lights.
Mm.
I should do that.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right.
Jeez. Omission on my part, right?
Gosh.
The illusion was just incomplete up till right now.
I know. Now I feel whole.
Fuck.
Hopefully this is still recording.
They're gonna like... What is going on? Cool.
I just go back to here. Should. Huh.
Should I?
Okay.
Okay. PC
Still
App
going.
Store. What the flip is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
So now we're on the holodeck.
Yeah. So, assuming this still kept recording while this bizarre pop-up
Yeah.
showed up on the screen, we're
Stupid
now in the
ads.
holodeck.
Yeah. I don't know that they call it a holodeck, but it's
Right.
basically what becomes the holodeck.
He's looking a little scruffy. Like he's
Yeah.
got some 5 o'clock shadow action going on.
He hasn't been over there that long. Wasn't he going to go for like
And
3 days?
he's got like
Oh, he
the
did. Yeah.
zipper down.
Undid the zipper.
Yeah. Be like Trip.
Yeah. I've got a little bit of shadow today. But
Me too.
yeah.
Yeah.
You usually do.
Yeah.
So.
I think she likes it though. Look how she's looking at him.
I know. She's digging it. She's like,
Now he's like,
humans,
yeah, you like
huh?
that? Uh-huh. Yeah.
Never seen that before, have you?
See how that feels
But
in
is he
between
digging
your
her
legs.
scales? Yeah, there she is.
Oh.
Yeah?
Oh, I think she actually did say something about hair growing out of his
Mhm.
face, didn't she? Okay.
Yeah.
I was just playing, but apparently I was on top of it.
Oh, here comes the getting knocked up scene. I mean, Trip doesn't know what's happening, but
No.
isn't this where they have kind of like the flashback and talk about when Archer saved him or something? And
I think so, yeah. Because she can
Yeah.
like read his thoughts and he can read hers.
yeah, this is where she finds out he likes catfish or it's his favorite food or something, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Which where's Trip supposed to be from? Somewhere in the South, I assume.
Florida, I think.
Is it Florida?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a Floridian. He doesn't grumble
From America's
about...
Wang. Huh?
He doesn't grumble about Ron DeSantis very much, though.
Well, this would have been a couple hundred years after Ron DeSantis, or at least 100 years after.
That's true.
But it seems like Ron DeSantis would have fucked up the state enough that people would remember him.
Right?
Especially as they're heading into hurricane season without, resources from NOAA and,
And the
the
FEMA
National Weather
director
Service.
doesn't
and
realize that America
that
had
there's a hurricane season.
Hurricane season. Yeah.
God. I feel like DePaul, it's like, what? What's
Trigger
wrong with
warning.
these people?
We're talking about politics.
Yeah. But Star Trek's always been a politically
It has.
charged show.
100%.
So,
And it's always mind-boggling to me when you have these hardcore conservatives that somehow missed that.
yeah.
And they're like, "Well, don't be politicizing Star Trek." I'm
Yeah.
like, "I'm sorry. Have you seen the original series?"
Yeah. Did you ever see The Boys? On
No.
Amazon?
No.
So that one's kind of a similar one where a lot of the MAGAs and right-wingers really
Homelander.
fell in love with it and didn't realize they were the ones being made fun of until
Yeah.
about the 3rd season. And that's like, hey, wait a minute. We're the bad guys. Yeah, you always
What?
have been.
Wait.
So. All right.
Oh, are we done holodecking now?
Yeah. Oh, so they're out of the rowboat.
The impregnation has happened.
Yeah, unbeknownst to Trip. Oh, now Mayweather's picking him up. Hey, how's it going,
you
man?
survived. You're looking a little scruffy there,
yeah,
bud.
you're absolutely glowing. That would have been funny if they would have said something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, like, this is where they start to kind of lean into some of those pregnancy tropes.
Yeah.
Like, the appetite and...
Yeah.
Like,
The mood, irritability, or the moodiness,
Yeah.
and the emotions. Because doesn't he get kind of teary and just...
oh,
Because
like,
isn't he wearing the old, like, the 90s Banana Republic shirt for a while? That
yes. Now, so the men wear the scaly outfits too, apparently.
Yeah.
But it's not really as form-fitting.
That's true.
So,
They're still shiny.
well, maybe it is. I don't know.
I mean, it's fairly form-fitting, but
Yeah.
not... It doesn't seem like it hugs his
Right.
hips as much.
Yeah, I think it's just form-fitting, yeah.
It's fairly form-fitting.
They're equal opportunity
Sexists.
objectifiers.
Yeah.
I guess.
Something like that.
Whoosh.
All right, see you later, guys.
End of the episode. Oh, no?
Well,
Maybe not.
Well, now we get into the
Right.
accusations that you were there for 3 days, you didn't keep it in your pants, and Trip says, but I didn't do anything.
I mean, it was kind of a fascinating first half of the episode.
Yeah.
Just from the perspective of...
Boy, you're eating a lot, Trip. You got a plate full there. Yeah, it was. And it's a little more pleasant, I think, than like having a face hugger plant eggs inside you, an alien or something. But
Well, yeah. I mean, if I had to choose between the two, I know which one I'd choose.
Well, you got a better chance of surviving one of them and not the other. So
We don't know that, though.
that's true. He never took it to term, did he?
Right. It might have killed him.
It could have.
Because she was like, oh, I didn't know it would work with your species.
Yeah.
Whoops. Well, what were you doing?
So were you just trying it?
Like, were you for the love of science? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Science.
We're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here, but...
Yeah. Well, we gotta watch Trip just eat and eat.
We do. Yeah. And, like, there's got to be a boatload of, like, exposition.
Mm-hmm. About how he's just feeling a little bit different.
Oh,
nope. There's
there's
something growing out of my
There we
arm.
go.
Looks like a big zit, but it's actually a nipple.
Might be a skin tag.
Could be.
See, and he actually goes and talks to the doctor about it right away instead
Yeah.
of trying to hide it, like I feel like a lot
Yeah.
of TV from that time period would do. So, good on you,
Yeah, because that
Trip.
wouldn't be a masculine thing to do, to say, hey, there's something wrong with me.
Yeah.
So. But he's also more in touch with his feelings right now because of the hormones and
That's true. Yeah.
other stuff. So
And now Phlox is like, you're kind of pregnant.
yeah.
Congratulations.
What?
And, you know, I think we talked about this in the episode where they were on the planet, but they are giving him, like, quite a bit to just, like, sink his teeth into.
Yeah, they gave him some different range to work with because it was,
Yeah.
When they were on the planet, it was, there's the blue underwear.
Blue underwear.
But, when they were on the planet, it was a lot of paranoia and, uncertainty
like
and
agitation
frightening
and things
experiences.
like that. Yeah.
And this one, it's more the emotional,
Right.
little humor, but
Yeah.
just kind of playing into some
And
different things.
You've got T'Pol just like crossing her
Yeah.
arms in displeasure.
She's always got that look like, God, I can't believe you people.
So you gotta wonder, like, was the trip T'Pol thing like a long term goal?
I wonder if
like,
it
from
was,
the
or
beginning,
if it was more that they just had on-screen chemistry together that they kind of decided to. I don't know. That would be a good question.
I mean, it's kind of like in Voyager with Tom Paris and B'Elanna.
Yeah, and I haven't actually watched all of Voyager, so
I've seen the first.
I know I've seen the first season, but
I've
I don't
seen the
think beyond
first
that,
4 or 5, and then like bits and
some
pieces
episodes here and there.
thereafter.
Yeah.
So, well,
Yeah, I think that's the only series I haven't seen all the episodes in.
yeah.
At least once.
Now, but if we take a second here, and we put ourselves in Trip's shoes, this all has to be fairly overwhelming.
Yeah. Because this is where T'Pol told him he couldn't keep in his pants for 3 days,
And Archer's laughing.
and this is where he's getting kind of, emotional too, where he's like, I didn't do anything. I did keep it in my pants. I was a gentleman.
Yep. I was a perfect Southern gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine having to plead your case wearing the blue underwear.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I remember from reading Stephen King's Dark Tower series. There's a part in there where Roland acknowledged that fighting naked was very difficult to do. I can imagine arguing in your underwear is also difficult to do.
Maybe there was blue underwear in the Dark Tower. I didn't remember that part though.
There might be. I'd have to go back and reread, but
Didn't you say that you looked for the blue underwear at some point, or
I
it was
did.
like DKNY, or
Yeah. Just because, like, I was like, well, is my cosplay really complete if I don't have the blue
you've got the
underwear?
jumpsuit,
Right.
So what do you wear under the jumpsuit?
And also, like, that button-down Henley underneath is apparently, like, it buttons all the way down, and it's long sleeves. So I figure they have to keep this ship at, like, 60 degrees.
Yeah. Which I'd be all right with.
I mean, yeah, that sounds perfect to me,
But I think just from an acting perspective, the layers and just moving around in
Yeah.
that many layers would feel restrictive. Where Phlox looks like he's just kind of got like an Indian smock on at this point.
Yeah,
And
he's perfectly comfortable.
looks like he's ready to go work a barber chair or be a doctor. Or go fix some food and...
This is kind of where they lean into some of that humor. It's
Yeah,
just
or they try to. And,
yeah. Doesn't always
And I don't
work.
remember if it was funnier 20 years ago or not.
I mean, it probably was. I feel like we've kind of evolved a little bit. Well,
yeah. Well,
half of the
some
country
aspects,
anyway.
at least a third of us have.
Yeah.
And humor's one that sometimes it kind of just, it's based on the time period
Sure.
that it came out, and it doesn't really hold up long term. And some does. So.
Well, I mean, like, you go back and rewatch shows that you watched in the 90s, and you're like,
oh. I always think it's interesting, too. Like, even watching, like, the original series and just how slow things move and how much more rapidly paced things are now.
Well, I think I remember reading that Jaws is really the piece of media that kind of changed that paradigm, because prior to that, everything was kind of like that slow burn.
Yeah.
And then, like, after that, things started to kind of just accelerate as far as exposition, world building, things like that.
I could see that. And Jaws wasn't a fast movie by any means.
It
took a while to get there.
Compare it to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, yeah. You got like 20 minutes of no verbal, no communication.
Right.
It was just all visual.
Oh, yes. His pregnancy shirt.
Yep. Looks like the old, right off the J. Crew or Banana Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Rack.
And it's like at least a size too big.
Oh, yeah. Well, they got to make it look like he's growing or something's growing, so.
That's true.
I'm glad they didn't give him like the pregnancy bump or anything like that. Cause...
I mean, they kind of did.
Yeah, I guess it's on his side, isn't it? That's when the Klingons laugh at him.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird place because, rib cage, but
yeah.
I mean, if you think back to the original series where Gene Roddenberry said that the Vulcan heart is where the human liver is, but that makes like no sense because the rib cage protects the heart and the liver's not protected.
Right.
So I feel like they just whipped that shit up and didn't really think about
maybe the Vulcans have extra ribs that we don't know about. I don't know.
Maybe.
There's no sternum protecting the heart. Oh,
2 nipples.
Which is what most people have.
True.
But
and I think he's now asking about how many he's going to get.
Yeah.
And Phlox is like, well, I don't know.
Yeah. His arm going to look like the belly of a sow here pretty soon.
Maybe.
And is that how, when the baby's born, is that how they feed them? Just, hey, here?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What do they look like when they're born?
Because they didn't look like mammals.
No, they didn't.
So why do they have mammary glands growing?
I'm assuming that's just one other thing that they just didn't bother to think through.
Yeah. Because they looked more reptilian.
Right.
Which would mean that I could see if it was more that she planted eggs in him. And then the eggs had to come to, gestate.
Yeah, but it would be harder for him to not realize it happened if she had to do that.
Because that'd be like, people, spiders will plant eggs in people. And...
But maybe that's what the tanks were for, if they were like maybe amphibians?
Could be. They could be amphibious.
I don't know.
Maybe they're like newts or salamander people or something.
Turn me into a newt.
Oh, I got it better.
Is this where they're talking about trying to find the ship so that they can...
I think so. I think this is where Trip's starting to kind of freak out a little bit. But he's really hungry. So.
He's really hungry. He needs more food. And then...
He's eating for 2 or more.
That's true, yeah. And it's like they just like he wants it to be kept a secret, and that they're just animatedly talking about it, and then all of a sudden like the food guy is just like right there. It's like, did you not see him come in? Do you not possess peripheral vision, Trip Tucker?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm pissed.
And now everybody's gonna know because he can't keep his big fat mouth shut.
And our Archer's gonna get that smirk, like, "Well, sorry."
Goddamn yeoman, ensign, whatever. I didn't look to
Ensign
see what
Janice
pin he
Rand
had.
or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I really don't like his shirt.
No.
I mean, it is a product of its time.
It looks totally late 90s.
Yeah.
Not 2150s, but...
Mm-mm. Oh, we found the ship. Thank the Lord.
But guess where it's at?
I'm going to take some breadsticks with me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, breadsticks are good portable food.
I mean, it's true, yeah.
Does Archer allow food on the bridge?
Apparently. He didn't say anything.
No.
But maybe this is considered an extenuating circumstance?
Could be. Ooh, I love this look of the Klingon
yes.
battle cruisers.
I think, what do we say, the Katinga class, which is also called the D7.
Yeah.
Definitely, like we see that in the original series. We
also
see it in the motion picture, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in Star Trek VI, I believe that's the ship Chancellor Gowron, or Chancellor Gorkon shows up on.
Is it?
I think that's a D7.
Because the ones in Wrath of Khan, or no, it would be it, but Search for Spock, and then when they commandeer the ship, it was the Bird
that was
of Prey.
The Bird of Prey, yeah. Much smaller vessel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure Gorkon shows up in a D7.
Yeah. I mean, they are a cool looking ship.
They are. So. Designs definitely stand the test of time, though.
Yeah.
Because for us in the year 2025 to say it looks awesome when it was pioneered in 1963 or something like that.
Well, even just think of the Enterprise. I mean, it still looks cool and classic.
Yeah.
It looks classic but cool at the same time.
And, you know, the updated design they did for Strange New Worlds kept a lot of that aesthetic and just modernized it and made it look really good.
Yeah.
Also, they were shooting photon torpedoes, and I don't believe we've seen photon torpedoes yet.
No, we have not.
So, is this the first canonical
it could be
appearance of the photon torpedo?
I think it was the first chronological experience, of a Klingon-speaking human, or where they understood each other.
Oh, yeah.
Because in the very first episode, we saw a Klingon, but he didn't speak English.
That's true. And here's Archer trying to reason with the Klingons.
Yeah.
Have you learned nothing, sir?
And he's had experience with Klingons before.
Right. That's just it. It's like you can't appeal to anything but their sense of honor or bloodshed.
Right.
Like that's about
it's
it.
Honor or valor, so it's which are kind of the same.
He's like, no, don't blow up the ship. They're just trying to get. Oh, shoot!
No, don't do that.
But wait, they impregnated one of my crew.
So, Trip, show him your rib cage. I think that's still coming up here in a minute or two.
Yeah, it is. And like, I don't know. Is this one of those things we're supposed to play off as a comedic moment? I don't really know.
I don't know.
I
think it's supposed to be comedic when the Klingons laugh at Trip.
Right.
But
I don't know. What's DePaul doing? Why is she like, oh, she's going to come and be like, hey, he stood in the council chambers and...
Oh, yeah. This is where... You don't know who this guy is.
Right.
She's going to play the do you know who he is card.
Mm-hmm. And I think it worked to an extent.
Yeah, at least, it kind of calmed the tension down.
They're looking at each other like, Oh, yeah, I did hear about that human.
Yeah.
He seemed like he was okay. For a human.
For a human.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the pregnancy belly
Show
reveal.
me your belly. Hey, Trip, show me your belly.
They're like, he's the one that's pregnant? What?
Let's laugh at him.
I mean, that is a Klingon thing to do, though.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Totally.
With his Eddie Bauer shirt.
I didn't think about it being an Eddie Bauer shirt, but yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, that's era appropriate, I think.
I mean, they're all basically the same shirt from different brands. But...
My dad lived in Eddie Bauer shirts in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I think my dad did too.
Yeah.
Eddie Bauer, LL Bean, all those.
Yep.
And I think they're still around.
Yeah, I think there's still an Eddie Bauer in Valley West Mall.
Yeah. Actually, there's one at the Outlet Malls, too.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, Trip doesn't look excited about this. This must be the belly reveal.
Yeah. This is where his peer pressure. Yeah. Yep. It's an order. No. I don't know. He actually orders them, too, but he's like, yeah. We got to prove it.
Does Malcolm know at this point?
I don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
Like, who knows?
We don't know if the steward told everybody.
Everybody on the bridge, like, absolutely floored by this revelation? And if so, they're doing a pretty good job of
or are they just
kind
of like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, the mood swings, the other stuff, so... This almost looked like...
I think they don't know.
This almost looked like the Quado scene
like,
in Total Recall.
Yeah. Malcolm's out of his chair.
Kind of like,
he had no idea.
What the hell?
Okay, and why did they think it was a good idea to let the Klingons on the alien ship?
I don't know.
Like, nothing about the decision-making in this episode makes sense to me.
It just seems very scattered. Inconsistent.
It's like, okay, we have to film one episode a week. We don't have time to clean this up. Let's just go with it.
I just think about how big of a pain in the ass it is to have somebody visit you at a workplace where they've got to like sign in and tag in and basically do a background check. And here it's
these aliens
100 years from now, and it's still like, yeah, just come on over. But they do kind of have the hippie shag carpeting look, and so maybe they're pretty open to stuff like that. And maybe they're looking for some free love. And I mean, Trip got knocked up on his first visit over there, so
right. See, it's like, I had no idea it would work. Why did you try it?
Yeah.
Goodness, woman.
Talk about just bad touches and sexual harassment.
Right.
And all that stuff.
Consent.
Yeah.
It's like, let me see. Is my baby going to be okay?
Yeah.
Have you damaged it?
Yeah, and how are the two species compatible?
Are you a compatible
host?
Vessel host? Right.
Klingons. This is a holodeck
technology. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. It's like,
this
hey,
is where the
look
Klingons,
at this.
We could really use this for other things. Yeah, because I think seeing what their ship can do from hiding and then seeing the holodeck, it's like, ooh, this could be where the cloaking technology developed from.
I think so. It's like, I don't know.
It's plausible anyway.
It's sloppy. It's a sloppy episode. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but...
Yeah. You're thinking about your PIP rankings already, aren't you?
I am. It's not going to be favorable.
No.
At least he's back in his uniform. Like, are his nipples gone?
Is he eating a salad now?
He is. What's Archer eating?
Who knows?
Were they all
He's usually
salad?
got a steak or something. Oh, he's got like a sandwich.
But yeah, he's definitely got a salad.
Yeah.
Maybe he's trying to appeal to Paul.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe this is where he's kind of making some of those early overtures to woo her.
Like, hey, girl.
Yeah.
How you doing? I'm eating
green
eating
stuff.
leafy greens.
Mm-hmm. Same color as your blood.
And always with the iced tea.
Yeah. How do they make sun tea in space, do you think?
They probably just like
synthesize it, or
I don't know, maybe they set it.
Can you use like a grow light to make it?
Like a viewport.
Could be.
Maybe they stop in front of the sun once every week just to make iced tea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could be.
All right. So
these are the
guess
hard
on where we're
questions.
going. Yeah.
Would you like to go first, or would you like me to?
I can go first, I suppose.
All right.
I didn't like this episode. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it, though. It was silly at times. They tried to balance too many things where it's like they wanted this kind of serious, let's do some gender bending, twisting around of roles and kind of changing those gender norms, but it just didn't work for me.
Yeah.
So I would give it a 1.5 pip if I had a half pip, but I'm going to go with a 1.
1 pip. Okay. So for me, I appreciate what they tried to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't stick the landing on it. There were parts that worked. I think there were more parts that didn't. The humor, like the pregnancy tropes didn't do it for me. Archer's just disregard for his man in distress when he's over there on that ship. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna 1 pip it as well.
All right.
So, yeah. There we go. That was season 1, episode 5, Unexpected. The next one, what is it? Terra Nova?
Terra Nova. Yeah, that's the missing Earth colony, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they find. So
Yeah. So that's the one we're going to be covering next. If you enjoyed our watch/commentary/Discord, we invite you to hit that subscribe button. If you hit the bell notification, it will notify you when we post new content. And a thumbs up will tell the algorithm that this is good shit and it should push it a little heavier. So, yeah, do all those things if you liked it. We also invite you to use the comment section. Tell us what you thought.
Tell us where we were wrong, what
right.
we missed.
Yeah, because we make shit up on the fly, so.
Yep.
But, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. We look forward to seeing you next time when we cover Terra Nova.